We were so lucky. We landed up at Aaron Franklin's place. Aaron is from Austin, Texas. And the whole Austin trip happened because Adi said, Aaron Franklin has said yes. I was like, beta, shoot karenge isko. And then I was like, Shanky, aja. But I couldn't get him there that fast.
You gotta show up at 6 o'clock in the morning or you don't get fed. This is a pilgrimage, man. You gotta fucking put the effort in for this. Shanky, get your ass here.
From the time he's open till now, the line starts like at 5 in the morning. People will drive from all over Texas and just stand in line. And those guys are cool enough, they'll keep free beers for people. And the people are just drinking beer, waiting at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, the chef was featured in the movie Chef as well, right?
Correct. We shot exactly where the movie was shot, and nobody else is allowed to go there. Anthony Bourdain, when he was shooting No Reservations or one of the, I think, Made in Wait in Line. That man is like a scientist. He has studied smoke, wood, and how to make those grills, and the movement of smoke through it. So you can't have rectangular, you can't have this piece, the gauge and thickness of the steel. Every single thing is calculated. The brisket can't have any sharp edges. If there's a sharp edge, it bounces back. So it won't roll over the next one. I had a long chat with him about using wood in India. I was like, you have to come to India. So much is changing in India. Like this Americana and everybody wants to do this barbecue thing. It's becoming a big social change in our country, right? Across different states. Looking forward to what is going to happen in India in this space. Hopefully this entire series kicks off something, but there are so many chefs in India that are just upping their game when it comes to briskets, upping their game when it comes to making their own sausages.
This episode can effectively be like what MasterChef has done to cooking in India.
Yeah.
This can do with barbecue and grilling to India.
I hope so. I hope it has some sort of effect like that.
Cheers to that.
Alrighty folks, we are finally heading to Austin. Woo! When I say Austin, it's sort of particularly, I've been trying to get to Franklin's barbecue. It's finally happening. Franklin's is a legend. Arguably, it is the most famous barbecue restaurant in the world. I can't fucking believe I'm here. 20 years I've been trying to get here. I can't believe you set this up, dude.
You got a cold day in Austin, but you know, barbecue tastes good whenever you want, and there's no better barbecue in town than Franklin Barbecue.
I mean, it's like a fucking pilgrimage for me.
It's become like a tailgate experience where people come and line up with their
I've heard these guys and people get beers and just fucking chill.
Just chill. People reading books even.
They made Anthony Bourdain wait, right?
I don't know about that, but I know they didn't wait Barack Obama wait, but then he paid for everyone he skipped in front of.
We're not paying for anybody else. No. Yeah, I know. We're missing Shanky, dude. He's gotta get his visa.
Right? Yeah, but I'm glad you asked me to sub in, and hopefully we'll still have a great weekend in Austin.
Like he's not a big forker, but he's a forker nevertheless. Yeah. What time did you guys get here? Yeah. First time?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mine too. You guys?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's my first time. We're trying to get here for 20 years. Haven't done. He comes here all the time.
We came here for my birthday. Today's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, man! Hey.
Yeah.
So this is our first stop right now.
And are you going to more places? Are you straight from the airport?
Straight from the airport here.
This is awesome. Yeah.
Well, you guys got a good day if you guys got here at 11:30 and you guys are all the way up here, because sometimes the line can be all the way back there. So
Yeah, because it's cold.
yeah, it's probably because it's a cold day, and you guys are probably like, this is nothing.
Oh wait, Michigan.
I'm freezing.
It's 20 degrees right now.
Yeah,
I'm freezing. Well,
This is a nice weather for us.
Yeah.
enjoy your trip and happy birthday, and hope you get to enjoy the barbecue.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday once we get back.
So let's go back there and eat now.
It's all about the bark, right? And those smoke lines. Just look at the glistening on this.
This is Big Forkers in Austin. There could be no better place to start than Franklin Barbecue. It has been regularly voted, I think, the best barbecue in the country, sometimes top restaurant in the country. Yeah, Aaron won a James Beard Award, and he was the first pitmaster to do so, and it really changed the game for barbecue, where the way people start thinking about barbecue is actually like a fine cuisine and all of that. And
While you're talking, I'm making orgasmic faces here.
well, these parts that I'm grabbing here, usually the best ones, I think. This part right here, this burned one, this bite will probably be the best bite of the whole plate. So
That's the burnt ends, right?
yeah.
So I think it was Aaron's place that Franklin's made burnt ends famous around the world.
Yeah, I mean, now Aaron has a different restaurant called Loro as well. They serve popcorn with burnt ends, brisket burnt ends. And you think it sounds weird, but damn, is it good. But yeah, I mean,
I think sex with burnt ends also sounds good. Everything with burnt ends
well,
sounds good.
I think you should keep saying sounds weird, but would be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when he won the James Beard Award, it kind of like changed the game for pitmasters, and he started getting invited to all these events and festivals, and that's how I got involved with him, was because he started to do his own food and music festival in Austin called Hot Lock, which I'm the executive director for, and basically,
How are we doing this? Look at that. He's checking out. Make sure we're still eating fast enough.
Just seeing what's going on. Just seeing what's going on here. No. You guys seem good.
No, I said arguably the most famous American restaurant, at least from an outside perspective, most famous barbecue restaurant in the world. And something that gets, mentioned that much would be top 5 restaurants in the world that get mentioned.
to me, when people ask me, and I do get asked this quite a bit, people coming in, they're like, oh, the food stuff, where do I go? And I mean, despite the line and all that, which has actually become this really cool tradition, like I was mentioning, it's become like this tailgate tradition where people line up, at the crack of dawn and wait 3-4 hours drinking beers. Some people even read books.
Aaron's off camera. I'm making O faces at a man. What's the sour component, the acidic component in the pulled?
Oh, it's vinegar.
It's vinegar?
Yeah, it's actually this sauce right here. Also,
Is that with the fat and the vinegar just makes it so much easier to just...
gotta get that acid.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, man.
That's what the Beatles said, but...
This is food porn. Look at that. 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 That's smoke ring. Now, there's an argument that smoke rings, do they matter? Do they not? Is it just a chemical thing?
It's a chemical reaction.
Yeah.
Super does not matter.
Thank you. We learned it from the master. I've been saying this for some time. Sorry. Oh, this is so good. I can keep quiet and eat. But yeah, so it's important, right? The bark is what I think is the most important.
Salt, fat render, like when that fat kind of renders down, it gets buttery and starts to caramelize a little bit. Magnifique.
And what's the argument with the left side, right side of the brisket? Doesn't matter?
Phooey.
Yeah?
See, learn all this from the master himself. Yeah.
This is a pilgrimage, man. So,
I mean, he's been WhatsApping me since 2017, like, I'm gonna come to Houston to visit my parents. I gotta get to Franklin. I gotta get to Franklin. I gotta get to Franklin. And this is 2017. I'm like, dude, there's no way. Go stand in line. 2018. I'm like, might have a better chance of figuring something out. 2019.
There's a pandemic. It's real easy to get in.
second wave, third wave, less people in line. There'll be maybe a few less people. I'm gonna get in there now.
So I've never been over there, and I certainly haven't cooked barbecue over there. How is the barbecue scene?
So it is growing fast. I mean, since we started shooting there, I haven't lived there, but when I got there, everybody's been talking about barbecue. I was in Goa for 1.5 years, and in that time, there were 5 or 6 places that popped up.
Wow.
And brisket is playing a big role.
That's so weird.
And it's a non-beef eating country, right?
Except for the South.
Except for the South. Like Kerala has it, and then Goa has it. And then I was trying to figure out how, and everybody's jigging their own rigs for this. Mm-hmm. And it's mostly oil drums, just cut in half.
Oh, just make what you got.
Yeah, make what you got, and then pop. And some of them is like heavy metal, heavy, what do you call it?
metal?
Heavy metal, yeah. But they're using really heavy steel.
Cool.
To make it, yeah.
So
And
Yeah,
the
so
wood
what's
is
the-
mango wood.
Yeah, so mango would be super dense, lots of resin, tons of sugar, take a long time to dry out, I would assume.
Sounds great.
Sounds perfect. You know, so are people cooking on like offset cookers like this?
Offset. So you've got heat, and then but they're fairly small, so the cook time is really quick.
Yeah.
And that resin's leaving. That wood's leaving a
A
funny
little
resin.
bitterness, I would imagine.
Everything is a little bit bitter.
Yeah, you know, so one cool trick might be, since there's a lot of resin in that, is to burn what I like to call a side fire.
Okay.
So say like you have like a fire pit, right? And say you cut this mango wood up into like smaller sizes, right? Like not big logs necessarily. Let it dry out a super long time if you can, but if it's kind of fresh, you could burn a fire pit and the resin and the sugar and the moisture will expand inside the wood and it'll pop and it'll crack it off into like coals, right?
Yeah.
So that's how guys cook with you know, like really like super dense like fruit woods and stuff like that. If they're like shoveling coals under whole hogs and stuff like that, I would do that and then maybe just shovel that fire into the firebox. That way you're not burning off all the schmutz in that initial combustion inside the firebox. You
And
can
would that
burn
be
that off
the
on the
same
side.
for like pork ribs or for
Well,
like
anything
shorter
that you've
cook?
got a funny wood. So if this wood's not like a real clean wood, see, like we get to use post oak here in Central Texas, which is of course what makes Central Texas barbecue taste like Central Texas barbecue, but it doesn't grow anywhere else. Like it's really specific to this region and just a little bit northeast of here.
Anybody use even a little bit of mesquite? Because I think it would just add too much, right? It just
Well, so the thing is when you combine woods, it gets a little confusing on the palate. Because then they all have a different characteristic, but if you let everything dry out properly, a lot of times you can't really tell what kind of wood it is. You just have to let it dry out enough.
I like the way at your level you're already talking about it's almost like a terroir, or like a wine. You're talking about like undulations of flavor, layers of flavor, just based on wood alone.
Perfectionist in many ways, and starts with this, I would say. And like, what would you say? Like, is it like German, Czech?
That's what the style is here in Central Texas.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
like
Where the immigrants came from?
Like, you know, that's
And of
where
course that mixed up with like,
it's
you know, like,
inspiration.
yeah, kind of like the, you know, like African American culture kind of like blended in with that, of course. The stuff we have here in Central Texas is pretty hardcore, like German Czech, like our sausage is Czech style. The style of brisket that we cook, like the seasoning and the way we cook on the offset side.
Kielbasa-ish almost with the Czech, Polish, German, yeah. Obviously, we've all seen your videos. It's not like I'm going to pretend. I don't know who this is.
God,
And
let
he seems
anybody
to have a
on the
really
internet.
famous place. I've never seen his videos. But so I see you're really particular about how you carve your brisket before it's going in. It's like the Declan is cut this way.
Hey,
You've
man.
got,
I'm a guy for details.
yeah, it's amazing. Like most people, I just fucking chuck it in, or they just cleaning, trimming.
Well,
just
that's like the
basic
old school
amounts.
way is like, oh, well, I paid for it. I'm going to cook it. And it's like, well,
getting
you're going to
maximum
cook it, but
yield,
then you're
but-
going to like spit out half of it because it's inedible.
Yeah, because that gristle from the end is just gristle. You're not going to eat it, right?
Or like unrendered fat or just, you know, whatever.
I love this story. I'd never met Aaron before. I once went to a record store called 33 Degrees and went to see this band I liked a lot, those Peabodys. And Aaron was the drummer. Still, you know, never done barbecue or never eaten this barbecue. I was just like, I love
Well, actually,
this band.
that was the day that I cooked my first
That's
brisket.
what I was leading
Yeah.
up to. That night is apparently after that in-store, which I actually have on a mini DV tape somewhere. He went later that night and made his first brisket, and the rest, as they say, is barbecue.
In a half keg of Lone Star. We started a few hours ago for tomorrow. So these briskets went
The
on,
briskets go on for how long?
well, it takes us about 24 hours to cook for each lunch. So you've got, you know, say 120 briskets that we trimmed yesterday, pulled out of the bags, trimmed them up, did our first trim. They go in meat lugs. They go down the elevator to one cooler, and then this morning they got pulled back up, and then we did a refining trim, seasoned them, and put them on. They went on about 11:30 today. They'll come off during the night, probably like 1, 2-ish. I mean, it'll be quite a few hours. Yeah, we're here 24 hours a day.
Aaron's bed is usually right here.
Well, it used to be. I don't really cook much these
I've been
days.
to events in different cities where I have to come check on Aaron every few hours because he sleeps overnight at the venue, just checking, cooking,
Oh yeah, sleep on a picnic table, like one eye on the fire, one eye closed.
I'll come in at 3 a.m. and he'd be like, just get me a hoodie.
So cold, so cold.
Well, thank you so much, man.
Heck yeah, good having
Thank
you.
you, man. This is
Super
so fucking
fun.
cool. I gotta say, this is a fucking pilgrimage, man. It is an absolute pilgrimage for me. I know shit. I'm like, Shanky is just fucking irritated with me. It's like, could you not wait till I could get there? And I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna let down.
I was like, this has got to be the first place we do, otherwise. Like,
Yeah, first shot, first fucking thing, first social media thing is gonna be from.
Well, so I'll say, if we're doing okay on food, you should take a little with you for everybody else.
Okay, cool.
It's totally cool. I'm gonna hit the road, but yeah, Darius will get you guys slices and stuff, and
Thank you.
This is so
post show.
fucking cool, man.
Sweet. I'll see you guys later.
Please say like, share, subscribe. I always forget it, man.
Like, share, and subscribe.
To
Can
the
you-
Big Focus channel, please tell us a little bit more about your barbecue experiences in India. That'd be fun to know.
In the comments, what have you learned? Where did you first eat your barbecue? What is your favorite barbecue? And what do you drink when you're barbecuing?
That'd be fun.